You must be my 6 o'clock. Yes. Of course, I'm Dr. Patty Loyland, and you appear to be our newest ichthian. That is phenomenal. So, since you have just in process to forge it, because Lunagutala is not really, I mean, this almost seemed very sci-fi to you compared to where you come from. Absolutely, because you're Berber, if I'm not mistaken. Absolutely. So I did get your medical records from your physician back on board, and I'm very excited to be part of integrating your experience here into the Lunagutala Frelsey. Absolutely. So, is your tank to your liking at the moment? Okay. It is a body plan that is unusual for this area, of course. Have you had any problems with people, calling you a fish or anything else like that? And you should not have to forgive the ignorance of your fellow crewmates. Okay, I figured you've been Frelsey for a long time. You're tough. You are one of the most talked about warriors in this area. Yeah. Oh, I'm glad you had a good trip. Well, we're going to be doing a medical exam, obviously. And what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be checking also the water quality of your tank and helping you to kind of figure out how we're going to make this robotic suit really work for you. So, as you know, the basic deployment tank for an ichthian coming to a non-water world is the essentially cartridge or bulletproof. Oh, it does stink having the medical center so close to, and we have to have it really close to the hangar bay so that we can get into spaceships and evacuate the sick quickly if we need to, but it is a little disruptive, isn't it? It really is. It really is. So yeah, the basic plan, your basic cartridge proof or bulletproof glass, essentially. I'm sorry that it is a bit, your daytime tank obviously has to be small enough that your body can fit, so, or that, you can move around, be mobile, tactile, have, the ability to fight and so forth. So that kind of top, and then obviously the robotic legs and arms outside that you can use to manipulate your environment. Is this one a little small for you? I do see they're doing training exercises all day today. You're gonna have to forgive me, but I do see how your tail kind of curls around in this tank. And you haven't seen your nighttime pond yet. I have been using all the water parameters that your physician sent me so that you will be good to go. And right now we are 0 nitrates, 0 nitrites. pH right now we have about 7.3. That's what they said you were accustomed to back home. Understandably, Berber is a saltwater environment, so I did adjust the salinity as well. That was a little bit of a challenge. Good. I figured that you had a background of your own in adjusting parameters, of course. Just like any astronaut, right, becomes very accustomed in what they need for survival. You really are a terranaut, coming from a underwater place onto a land environment. So, perfect. Okay. So you're familiar, you should already have the settings there. The control panel is similar to the control panel in your current robotic tank suit. Exactly. Absolutely. And I don't know if they showed you at the bottom of this suit, so that you can cycle out wastewater and cycle in good water during the day without overwhelming your system. Okay, you'll just cycle at the end of the day. Okay, that's good. And then you brought your own, you're traveling with your own water that you came with. Exactly. Okay. That was one thing I did, get nitrifying bacteria set up in your sleeping pond. It's been set up for a while. And it is normally, people who come here come into squad families, really. So you're usually assigned with 3 other people, 3 or 4 other people, or if you have a family, families are kept together. Just because a lot of it, a lot of what the Frelsey do is we mobilize protecting refugees. Exactly. So we don't really want to, protecting, arming, and strengthening refugees. And so we don't really want to, like split up families into different barracks or anything like that. But at the same time, we want to make sure that children and parents, everybody, mothers, fathers, everybody is very well integrated into a self-defense system. Exactly. You know this already. I'm sorry for telling you things you already know. I'm just kind of rattling off the same introduction that we give everybody who comes here. But your squad family will be in the barracks that's closest to the pond, but the pond obviously is not inside the barracks system. We had thought about vulnerabilities, but not a problem. Okay. Again, you are one of the, we're very excited. I know everyone is very excited about having you stationed here. Absolutely. There have been other ichthians using that pond, absolutely. But right now you're our only ichthian on the entire base. And so I understand the emotional ramifications. I know you're all big and tough and stuff, but give me just a second, ma'am. Just a second. So, there is evidence, right? Just like there was evidence back on the human homeworld where black people who were particularly isolated would have higher incidence of particular mental health challenges, right? Not saying that somebody who is the only black person in a non-black area that they're going to automatically have some kind of problem, but being isolated can affect you if you feel like you're the only one. Whereas, of course, for all people groups back on the human homeworld, and I know I'm talking about humans and not ichthians, give me a second. All people groups, if you felt integrated, even if the people weren't the same around you, but you felt connected instead of isolated, it certainly helped you out. So, with that understanding, I want to make sure that you are feeling that you're integrating well with your squad, and that you are not alone, that you can talk to them even if there's things that are different. They have all been versed on ichthian culture and biology, just like I know you've received the downloads on the culture and biology of the other people in your squad, right? I think you have 2 wonder frogs and a human. Exactly. 2 wonder frogs and a human, I think is what you've got. It's a small squad, and obviously, yeah. And your squad does not have any children associated with it. Yeah. I think that was exactly. So I just want you to know while you're here that you can come and talk. We can get you hooked up with our psychological programs if you find yourself overwhelmed. Just standard, and of course you've already gone through the standard psychological eval paper stuff. I have your paperwork up. I looked over that. It looked great. So yeah, just if you feel like you need support, obviously there's no stigma or shame, and it doesn't mean you have a mental illness even. And I know some of the higher ranking folks like yourself sometimes don't want to deal with it. You just want to get work done, and so you try to ignore it. You, of course, need to understand that the most important thing you can do for the sake of the other soldiers who work with you is to be, healthy and stable, because the more healthy and stable you are, the better you will be at making decisions, at leading your troops, everything else like that. So, I'm going to be pestering you frequently during your initial period here, because a transition to another planet, a transition to a planet where you are the only one, a transition to a planet where you are most of the day in a kind of cooped, claustrophobic space and you can't swim freely. All of that stuff matters, right? And I know you've been on long deployments before. You're very accustomed to a robotic suit. I understand. Yeah. So I know you're super tough, but super tough notwithstanding, I'm going to be pestering you a lot. Because it's important to me that you are healthy. And it's not just you. I do this to everybody. Every human, every vibrant, every space lemur. I will pester it depending on the risk factors that are available. Obviously, our children I pester the most. I spend a lot of time with pediatrics. People coming from pretty horrible situations up into these essentially refugee bases. Yeah. So don't take it personally if I'm pestering you with like psycho eval questionnaires over and over again. Please don't lie to me on them. I will find out if you're lying, because I will look at the readout from your wristband at the same time, or not wristband, your fin sensor. I will look at the time that you filled out the psych eval, how you're, you know how it works. So don't lie on the questionnaire. Be real, be you. And if you need anything, please don't hesitate to ask. Yeah. So some of those basics out of the way, I am going to go ahead and take a listen. So if you'll excuse me, I'm just going to kind of come into your tank here. Just here. And just through here. Yeah. It's kind of cool, like the polymer wall that you can reach directly through without disrupting. Alright. Just kind of listen to your heart. Okay, over here. I'm going to listen on the ventral part, okay? And then to the dorsal side. Okay. Of course. So, that is a good question. With mammals, I'll listen to 4 different spots, really to try to capture the different, valves that are important for the different ventricles, because you do not have full 4-chambered heart, obviously, being ichthian. We listen mostly to just make sure that we get the one valve, the other valve. Exactly. Can you flare out your fins for me? And your gills too. Beautiful. I'm gonna put this in your tank again. I need to, well, no, that's perfect. We're good. No more listening. No more bothering your tank with my grubby human bacteria. Of course. Yeah. I like that brand of bacteria as well. Yeah. Very, very good for tank cycling. I totally agree. So, have you had any fungus outbreaks recently? Okay. Any white plaques over your scales? Any bloat? Okay. I don't see any bloat now. You look very, very good. Your egg spot is beautifully developed. You look clean and healthy. And your, I do see that at this point in time you are a little bit gravid. You've been eating well. That's very, very good. That's very, very good. So, any spawning? Desires to spawn? Anything else like that? Okay. That was my understanding, was that you didn't have a mate with you, but I didn't want to be judgmental and assume. So, exactly. Well, if you do end up needing to spawn in the tank, or if your body, not spawn, obviously, since it's not really spawning without a mate. But if you do end up finding that either your body doesn't naturally reabsorb the eggs and you need to release them, your tank is set up for that. It's clean and everything like that. So you've just been eating well, so you're like, body's starting to produce eggs. Is it frustrating? Don't be frustrated by it. That's just your body being your body. It happens with all, like, you know, not just ichthians, but actual fish as well. Like, when a female has been eating really well and is in a good environment and there's just certain hormones in the water, she will just produce eggs. It's just how it is. It doesn't mean anything. And no, it doesn't have to mean that you want it or anything else like that. I understand that some areas can be kind of sexist and people can assume that that means you want something, and I don't like internalize that shame, ma'am. You have the body you have, and it is what it is. So, and you do not have to cover up your egg spot here. I don't think anyone here is going to make that judgment. I'm very sorry that you've experienced that on Berbera, but you are not going to experience that here, I'm pretty sure. To tell you the truth, I highly doubt that anyone here is going to even know what the egg spot means or what it is. Yeah. No fears, ma'am. You show your egg spot, no worries. It's all good. But your gills look clean and clear. Like I'm saying, no evidence of bloat. You have a good round belly, but it's a healthy round belly, and obviously that's going to decrease because your food quality here is not going to be as good as back on Berbera. I'm very sorry, so that's going to go away. Beautiful, beautiful dorsal fins. Everything is flaring really nicely. Can I see a side wiggle? I just want to see that the muscles in your core are working appropriately. Perfect. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to take I'm going to take a sample of your water, okay? Just real quick right here. Okay. And then I'm just going to dip it in here. And just inject it in there. Perfect. Yeah, and then we just add some red chemicals so that I can evaluate pH, everything else like that. Honestly, your water quality looks fantastic. And your eyes are looking very clear. I'm very happy with that. Any visual changes? No? Phenomenal. I think, ma'am, that we are going to be good to go. I would like to take a tiny, tiny blood sample. Exactly, just making sure you know how it is. Standard oxygenation, everything else like that. It's a small needle, very small needle, and it'll be, yeah. And it'll just be from the tip of the dorsal fin right here, because obviously I don't want you to get sick or infected or anything like that in water that have bacteria. That's a good point. We can forego that because you have been traveling. What I'll ask you to do instead is, because your fin sensor, which you use instead of a wristband, does have the capacity to prick you, I'm going to ask you to take care of that yourself a little bit later, when you're kind of all settled in with your water and you know that it's not going to be a problem with your water quality. Just a little tiny prick, and then just make sure, yeah, it knows where it is, and that'll be sterile since it's sterilely swooped onto there. That'll be perfect. Let's do that instead. I think that's what. We are very happy to have you here. Anything that you have questions about? No, like I said, your scales are looking very, very good. I'm not seeing any evidence of fungal infection. I do have plenty of melaleuca oil, plenty of the antifungal that is in what used to be called Pimafix, but is not anymore. Plenty of that, plenty of nitrifying bacteria if you need them, plenty of tetracycline, erythromycin if you need them, and then obviously your diet. We have plenty of like large live pellets, and then of course we'll make sure to only put that in. You'll have access to it in your pool, in your sleeping pool. Yeah, exactly. And you'll just be able to access that as you need to. And then during the day, we do have an amendment I can add to your robot suit if you like, where you can have pouch pellets added. It's just since it's such a small space, I'm very concerned. Oh, okay, yes. We do have the tube option, so you can suck out of a tube. Yes. Or not really suck, since you don't have that kind of capability, but pinch out of a tube. Yeah, I just don't want the water quality in such a small space to get messed up, and then for you to get sick. Exactly. So, if at all possible, most of the time, if you eat in your pool, that would be the best. If you are out on a mission, perfect. Okay. I will definitely have the tech look into that for you then. Okay. I think we're gonna be just fine. Again, a lot of this stuff is formalities, and like I said, I have everything from your doctor, all your past medical records. Yeah, so it should be good. My biggest concern really is making sure that you emotionally feel welcome and safe, and if you don't, you can always come talk to me. You don't have to talk to me. We can get you in with somebody else. If you find you're not meshing with your squad family very well, as you know, it's like very rare to ever have someone transfer squad families, but certainly okay, yeah, that won't be necessary. Good. Okay. I know this isn't your first rodeo, ma'am. I'm so sorry, and I know you must be very busy, and I'm honestly a little bit nervous meeting someone like you. I just want to make sure that all is well. Is it okay? I hope it's okay. I'm a little intimidated, to tell you the truth. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Well, I think that'll be it. Alright. That'll be right down there, ma'am. Alright. Have a great day.